Do you think that this is going to make a better agent at the end of the day?
Hopefully.
I'm hoping the same. Obviously, the barrier to entry in our industry is fairly easy and simple. And with that comes people that don't necessarily take this business serious, don't work on the skills, don't sharpen their skills to bring the value that needs to be brought to the table in a competitive situation. And hey, you can go all the way back to 2005, just breathe, boom, okay, you get the loan, boom, I'll sell you the house. But when we actually get to the point where skills are involved and you need to know what you're doing and how you're doing and bring that value to whether it's the seller or the buyer, and now there's some money on the line of whether or not you're going to get paid as a buyer's agent because of that, this is going to change the industry as far as who is staying in and how skilled, how well they develop their skills.
Hey, Nestor.
Travis. Been to court lately?
No,
Good.
I don't think so. Trying to remember.
So, well, today's conversation, a lot of it's a hot topic going on right now, NAR and the lawsuit in Missouri. Another one coming up in Chicago.
Multiple coming up.
And then there's another one that just got filed. And so let's talk about it. Yeah. I mean, a lot of people have been talking about this. Everything from what is it going to do to the industry, how it's going to impact the real estate agent out there, how it's going to impact the seller, how it's going to impact the buyer. I think let's start with what do you think this is going to do to the industry? What direction do you think it's going to take it from a real estate agent perspective?
So I think there's a lot to still be discovered.
Okay.
So I don't think there's really anyone that could give a good answer to that right here at the moment.
Okay.
But I think what I've been sharing from my thoughts is that this is beginning a process for people to say, what's going on? What is this?
Right.
Oh, yeah. And someone said, I don't know how this would propagate throughout the industry. I'm like, oh, believe me, there are agents out there. They're going to jump all over this.
Correct.
They see it as a way to get listings, hey, 2%. Is that all? That's all. Yeah. Buyer can pay their own commission. And that's going to, be out there in the marketplace. So my belief at this time is that we are going to slowly go into a situation where brokers and agents are going to start listing properties without brokers' compensations, or some variation thereof.
I mean, without buyer's compensation.
I'm sorry, what did I say?
Brokers. But
I meant buyers.
But without buyer's compensation. Okay.
And how long that's going to take? I don't know, but I'll tell you the articles and things I'm seeing in this Ketchum attorney out in Missouri, talking to the DOJ. Sounds like there's cajoling going behind the scenes, which seems illegal to me. I don't know. It doesn't seem right, but whatever it is. And some point we're going to get into great confusion.
Okay.
And there's going to be all kinds of things going on as far as earning a buyer's representative's commission, whether it be paid by the seller, whether you've got to go out there and find it yourself through the buyer or otherwise. And it's going to be difficult in my estimation.
Okay.
If you're not well prepared and you don't know your value, it's going to be brutal until that kind of all shuffles out. The agents who are desperate finally fall off. They can't deal with it, aren't well prepared. And, then I think we'll be in a hybrid world of some people are saying you got to pay the buyer's commission yourself, and other listing sellers will say, no, I see the value of offering that, so I'm going to do it.
Okay. What do you think about, before I ask the next question, what do you think about, because we don't know, I know California, that's where our marketplace is. That's where we do our business. Our forms and everything that we do here they're reviewed by the attorneys here in California and put together by the attorneys here. I'm not privy to what the contracts look like, those listing agreements and things of that nature. This particular lawsuit being in Missouri, I don't know what those contracts look like, and I don't know if how much of it's going to bleed over state to state, area to area. Because although National Association of Realtors, it covers all of us nationally, it doesn't necessarily cover us statewide with regard to the contracts and things of that nature. So, any insight on that?
I don't think it's a big a deal as a lot of people think. In the beginning, I thought the same thing.
Okay.
Listening to the lawsuit, I'm like, a lot of things they were saying, most specifically, like, do sellers even know that real estate commissions are negotiable? And I'm like, well, yeah, it's only written in bold,
Right.
large type at the top of every one of our listing agreements. And then it dawned on me exactly what you just said. Well, that's California.
Right.
I have no idea what it looks like in Missouri or Florida or Iowa or Tennessee or wherever else. I don't think that's the gist of what they're getting at here.
Okay.
The more I read, the more I try to take this stuff in. It's the clear cooperation policy that they're going after. And I think it's going to be a very tough battle for NAR because I believe with NAR that it's the best system I've seen for an efficient marketplace to bring the seller the best value and the buyer the best opportunity at getting the right house. I don't think there's any question about that. But they're hitting on strictly antitrust, which is you're forcing the seller to pay a buyer's agent commission, and that's not right.
Okay.
And the thing is that there are gray shades with everything. And I think that's where we're getting lost here is in this gray shade. And so the consumer seems to think that, this lawsuit is correct and that we do get paid too much and that we shouldn't, well, I take that back. I don't know about getting paid too much, that sellers are having to pay a commission that they don't want to pay.
Correct.
And that's antitrust.
Okay.
They're not talking about, if not thinking about, what value that brings to the transaction.
Right.
And it's a simple fact. Commissions are negotiable. So yeah, to put it in the MLS, you need to offer $1.
Right.
But apparently that's not communicated enough and it's not making them happy. So it's an unfortunate situation.
You guys might not like this question. You might not like this question, but I'm going to ask the question anyway because I have my thoughts and I'm curious to hear yours. Is this the end of NAR?
I didn't think so. But
comment down below on this one.
Again, it's going to take a long time for that to flush out.
Correct.
And I think that they're the most vulnerable because they have the least understanding, the agents have the least understanding of what value NAR brings to them because most of it's behind the scenes. Most of it is advocacy,
right.
For laws and things around the nation. Whereas when we talk about CAR for us, I mean, you got to have it.
Right.
It's the best deal in town.
So, but with NAR, there's twofold there. I mean, because there's two points to my question. One is in all of these settlements that are going on and with some of the bigger corporations and franchises getting named in these lawsuits in regard to all the settlements and everything, they are all entering into these settlements basically saying that you no longer have to become a member of NAR, and they're pulling that out. So there's one side of it of, hey, all these companies are starting to jump on the, I don't want to say jump on the bandwagon, but they're all starting to, it is not our policy that you have to be a member of NAR to be a part of this franchise or be part of this corporation. And then the second part is, can they even afford it? I mean, this first lawsuit, if anything close to the numbers that they're throwing out continue to fall suit on these other lawsuits and the clients prevail, can they actually afford to continue to stay in business? So I think there's two things that are going on there. We could run a mass exodus of agents saying, hey, I don't want to become a member of NAR any longer, along with the fact that everybody's taking the money that they do have.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see how that all pans out because, yeah, it depends on the numbers, but their strategy would probably be, okay, this is going to be a $200 assessment per member for 10 years above and beyond what everything else is. Are members willing to pay that?
I was about to say.
Well,
everything that's
like
happening,
I said, they have the hardest showing their value
Their
proposition.
value, exactly.
So that's going to be a problem. But you also have to understand how all the associations are tied together,
Right.
and what their rules are
Mhm.
about whether you got to belong to one to the other and this and that. So today, as it stands, no, it's not going to be a problem.
Right.
NAR will survive. But going through this lawsuit and the pressures that are put on, there may be changes that are made to the structures of all these that could really put NAR at risk.
Okay. All right. I don't know if I have anything further to say. I am interested in hearing comments on this and what you guys think, because you guys are in the industry. Everybody that's watching this, these videos are made for people that are in the industry, and everybody's aware of what's happening right now with the lawsuits, and it is the talk of the town what it's going to do to our industry and what's going to happen. I'm most afraid, and it's not so much that I'm afraid, but I am saying that if we're not being prepared, if we're not prepared for the next cycle. Right now, the market has softened a little bit. I would still declare it a seller's market, but it has softened a little bit. We get back into a market that we've been having here in the past, and it turns into a frenzy again with the multiple offers and prices going well above asking price and things like that. I'm venturing to guess that a lot of those properties going on the market will be offering very little compensation, if any, to the buyer's agent.
Yeah, greed is a horrible thing.
Yeah.
And that's what it's going to come down to. The value of properties today are priced based on a buyer compensation being paid.
Mm-hmm.
So going in and saying you're not going to pay that,
Right.
you're saying pay me more than my house is worth.
Right, right.
And a lot of people won't see that. And it's going to force people into situations like dual agency that's not good for the consumer.
Okay.
And it's just a bad thing all the way around. But I don't disagree with your assessment.
Do you think that this is going to make a better agent at the end of the day?
Hopefully.
I'm hoping the same, because I will say this. I do believe, obviously, the barrier to entry in our industry is fairly easy and is simple. And with that comes people that don't necessarily take this business serious, don't work on the skills, don't sharpen their skills to bring the value that needs to be brought to the table in a competitive situation.
Mm-hmm.
And hey, you know, go all the way back to 2005, just breathe, boom, okay, you get the loan, boom, I'll sell you the house. But when we actually get to the point where skills are involved and you need to know what you're doing and how you're doing and bring that value to whether it's the seller or the buyer, and now there's some money on the line of whether or not you're going to get paid as a buyer's agent because of that. I really think that this is going to change the industry as far as who is staying in and how skilled, how well they develop their skills.
On a buyer representation side.
Yes.
So I think listing agents, for the most part, doing well out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's listing agents, so many listing agents on their A game. I'm not sure how much that's going to change with all this.
Right.
But buyer's agents, yeah, I mean, you're going to have to show your value. You're going to have to learn how to express your value. And I don't know how many people are capable of doing that and being strong. That's why I think there's going to be a frenzy. There's going to be this big period, 5-ish years of confusion when I don't know if I'm getting paid or I am or I'm not. And buyer's agents are going to have to be strong and learn and say, this is my value. Well, and I will work with you for it. And that 5 years is when the people who don't know how to do that grasp for their last breath of air before they fall out. And then it's going to clean it up because you're going to have those skills or you will not survive.
Well, I think it's going to be on both sides. I mean, as a listing agent, the competition is going to get even more fierce.
Yeah, it'll be even a stronger part of the business.
Exactly. It's going to be a stronger part of the business. They're going to be scrutinizing the commissions and things of that nature even more. There's not going to be a lot keeping that newer agent as well that has not developed their skills. And don't get me wrong, you can be a new agent and you can be good in this business. And there are plenty of agents that have been in this business for quite some time and still have not developed the skills or done the things that they should be doing in order to properly take care of their clients. Sure. So don't misunderstand that statement that I'm making, that being new has anything to do with it. But there will become a disruption in our industry from a listing side of, hey, I'll take the listing and I can do it. And you don't have to pay this, this buyer's agent anything, and I got it handled. And then they're walking into a situation where they're in a dual agent situation and truly don't have it handled. Did we just make things better or worse?
No, yeah, that's a good point, that it's going to be worse.
Mm-hmm.
And there are agents that will do that.
Right.
And unfortunately, I can tell you, dual agency is the birth mother of lawsuits.
Mm-hmm.
And until people get in one, they think, oh, this is great. No problem. I'll represent both sides for 3%. And then you have a lawsuit that wipes you out to, 3 times that amount.
Yep.
And you're like, oh, I guess that wasn't such a good idea. So these listing agents are going to have to be strong. Yeah. Hey, I will take care of what I said I will to get your home to market and bring in the buyers for 2.5%. Now, if you want me to represent a buyer, that's going to be X.
Right. Right.
Otherwise, we're going to have to, someone else is going to have to represent that buyer, because I will not represent both sides.
It's going to be interesting. So I'm crazy as it might sound, people, I'm excited to see what direction this takes, or this goes. I think that in any market, when we see something like this occur, that this is an opportunity for those that, again, that cream rises to the top, and for those that work hard, in order, they
figure it out.
Yeah, they figure it out and come out the other side and ending up actually better. So we'll see. Would love to hear what you guys think on this. And, please, if you like what we're saying, comment, like, subscribe, and let us know your thoughts. Appreciate it.
To be continued.
Absolutely.